SERBIA Veterinary Project in 2020, and that is the autumn campaign. And maybe it is important to mention that this is the oral vaccination campaign, because for everybody, when we are saying the vaccination, it seems that you need to take the vaccine and to do the vaccination. But no, this is the oral vaccination, and it is totally something for me. I was seeing this for the first time. This type of services, if I can say so, was very strange to me. So maybe at the beginning I should little bit explain you what are the principles of rabies eradications and what does it mean, the oral vaccinations. Let's say the ultimate goal of any rabies control measures and sorry for forgetting to introduce my partner Valter Miceli. Sorry, Valter.
Hello, hi.
Sorry, he is the team leader on our project. Unfortunately, Valter was not present on our project when we start to implement this vaccination campaign, but he's fully aware of the, let's say, the results and everything what we achieved on this oral vaccination. So as I mentioned, just a little bit to explain you what is the oral vaccination, what are the principles of rabies eradication. The ultimate goal of any rabies controls measures in the wildlife is to decrease the rabies incidence and eventually eliminate the rabies enhances to achieve freedom of the diseases. Rabies in the wildlife, they can be controlled by both an intensive reduction of the population and by mass vaccination of that population. And the final aim of these both methods is to disruption of the natural route of infection by reducing the number of susceptible animals. And some commercial methods includes attempts of hormonal sterilization of foxes, the distribution of poison bait, trapping, digging, and destroying of fox cubs at dens, then gassing and intensive cooling it as well. Based on the many experience, it was not possible to decrease the rabies incidence effectively by using these means. And since this idea of mass vaccination of the reservoir species, the red foxes, has been successfully demonstrated for the first time under natural conditions in Switzerland at the end of the 1970s. And the oral vaccination of foxes against rabies has become the ultimate concept in rabies control through Europe. So it is really, really something what is important. And the vaccination strategy is defined as a long-term plan of action designed to achieve a particular goal. And the main reason for that is the rabies elimination. And from the, let's say, point of view of vaccination strategy, in order to fulfill certain requirements, they need to work on the state of the art of science and technology, effectiveness under any conditions, minimal expenses, but maximal success, and the cost effectiveness, and last but not least, principles to be followed. When we speak about this oral vaccination that we implement on our project, first of all, let's say we were asked from the EU delegation to be the contracting authority, what is totally strange, to implement and monitor this vaccination campaign. But in order to understand it, what is the situation regarding this oral vaccination in Serbia, we can say that this vaccination campaign, it started on the 14th of December with the testing of the equipment and the routes that should be implemented on this vaccination campaign. But Serbia, a multi-annual strategy and the roadmap for eradication, control, and the monitoring of rabies was adopted by the Veterinary Directorate that is under the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Water Management in November 2010. Sorry, and it was amended and improved in 2015. And it sees aerial distribution of rabies oral vaccines and the entire territory of the Serbia until final elimination of the rabies virus from the susceptible wildlife population in line with the EU and other recommendations. Of course, this procedure was implemented in line with the Prague rules by our company. And the main company that implemented this vaccination campaign was the Czech company BioVeta, and they were selected and implement this rabies oral immunization. I will share with you some of the, just a second, I will share with you some of the pictures that we took during the vaccination campaign, but just a second. Sorry, something went wrong. Here it is. That we took during the implementation of this campaign. You will see, and now I will show you. This is the photo. Can you see it all?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the photo. This is the bait, and this bait in itself has some smell that provoke the wild animals to take it, mainly foxes, and inside of that there is a vaccine. And at the beginning, and I'm totally out of this issue and this vaccination, for me it was totally strange how the people can be sure that the wild foxes and other wild species have been vaccinated. And the experts and the colleagues from the veterinary department told me that every hunter is obliged to apply to every veterinary inspector in his area when he catch some of the foxes or wild animals, and to bring it to the inspectors. And when they put some lamp or I don't know what, there is some blue color, and they can see that this animal is vaccinated. So it was really totally new information for me, and something that I didn't ever see.
Uros, if I can say, this is a marker, is a fluorescence marker, is an element that is called tetracycline, and remain in the tissues and in the teeth. So they can identify the age of the animal and if the animal uptake the bites.
Yeah, thank you. But Valter he's more familiar with this, and yeah, there is some, as you said, some color that they can see and understand that the animal is vaccinated. These are the let's say in these boxes, because at the beginning of the campaign we needed to test all the baits to see if they were kept under some prescribed temperatures, to see if they have everything what was prescribed by the special conditions. So we took this baits to some of the lab in order to control them, to test them, and to see if they are satisfying all needs and the requirements prescribed by the special conditions, and by of course in line with the Prague rules.
I can say, Uros, that it's important to maintain the cold chain during all the transportation of the bites, because each bite has a melting point of 40 degrees Celsius. So this is why it's important to keep cold during all the transportation and the dissemination of the bites.
Yeah, and that is during the whole time of transportation, even to the other, not just to the laboratories, but also when they are putting these baits in the aircraft. So all the time they are testing this cold chain temperature. Thank you, Walter. This was my office on one of the airfields, and it was in on Zlatibor, and the airfield was the Ponikve airport. And you can see that here are the airplanes ready to take off and to drop the baits all over the country. And we, just to mention, we cover the whole territory of the Republic of Serbia, and the number of baits that we drop is the 1,675,500 of the baits, of the drop baits. When it comes to the length of the flights that the pilot took is 1,500, almost 156,000 of kilometers. They implemented in 32 days this campaign, and what was, how can I say, the best score ever. And because we started this campaign at the last moment, and the weather was very, very good, and it was on our side, because I know, and maybe Walter, you know this better, last campaigns, autumn campaigns, were even implemented during the 5-6 months period, but we were really, really lucky to implement and to drop all the baits in 32 days.
I can add about the aircraft that they are flying, just to give you information. They are flying at the speed of about 150 kilometers per hour, at an altitude about 150 meters. They are following flight lines with a distance of 500 meters, and they are dropping bites every 120 meters. So the average of number of bites per square kilometer is about 20.
Yeah.
How is recommended by the World Health Organization.
Yeah, and here you can see, let's say, the machine in which you put these are the bites that you put these bites. And they are like, you know, on the, like the munitions that you put in the big gun, you know, and they are dropping it like, you know, like that. So you can see this is the machine. You're having the one pilot, of course, and there is one guy sitting here and dropping the bites, and they are collecting for every single bite. They're collecting the GPS codes. And it is very important. There is one geographical information system, GIS system, that all the informations that we collected during this campaign were put in that geographical information system, in order so that can Serbia report, show to the to the European Union, to the World Health Organization, where the bites were dropped and which territory was covered. And you can see, just a second, that for example, the only thing that we didn't cover, just a second, I will show you right now, just a second, that we didn't, just a second, I will show you right now, not this, sorry. Share screen, something I can't share one of the, here it is, share. This is the statistic of the, and you can see these white places, and those are the only places where bites were not dropped. So this is, let's say,
urban areas, all the urban areas, Belgrade, Novi Sad, Niš, Čačak, and the other main cities were not covered by, the project covered about 75,000 square kilometers, excluding all the urban areas.
Yeah, this is Belgrade, for example. This is Novi Sad, for example, and Niš, Kraljevo, and other cities. So it was really something, you know, that was done very, very fast, as I said, in 32 days. As I said, these are the bites. These are the airplanes that they, I will show you now the one of the video just to show you how it was look like. Okay, is it not playing? No, or yes? Yeah, here it is. I will show you. These are the, let's say the tracks coming with all the baits, and this is the baits that they have this freezer. Am I right, Valter? How do you call it?
Yes, the cold chain.
Cold chain, yeah. So these were on the Ponikve airport. Just a second to turn a little bit down the volume. For me, it was totally interesting, you know, to see this for the first time, because I wasn't aware that this is existing and that this is something very important. And also what is important, that they need to drop all these bites all over the borders in order that they, how can I say, stop transmissions between the countries. So this is really something what is important. So I took these videos just in order, you know, to collect them so that we can share them. And it was really, really interesting. As I said, the campaign started on 14th of December. It was finished on 11th of January in 32 days. The details of this vaccination, as I said, they were finalized with the entering in this GIZ system. The main recommendation after this campaign is still to continue the rabies oral vaccination program in line with the strategy for the control and eradication of rabies that was initiated by DJ Sante. And also for the next campaign that should be implemented, special attention should be given to the border area, and that will be the border area with Bosnia and Herzegovina, due to the new cases, rabies cases, notified and reported on the 19th of June 2020. Because there was some positive rabies dog, sorry, that was found in the village close to Srebrenica, in the vicinity of Serbian border. And also, it is also recommended that this oral vaccination of rabies should be done not just in Serbia, but it should also be done in the Bosnia and Herzegovina. And when I asked our non-key that was dealing with this vaccination and everything, she told me that even if we have one case of rabies cases, we need to implement this oral vaccination campaign. So I don't know, Walter, if you have something to add.
Yes,
please.
Just to inform you that the rabies started with the dogs, like you say, but at the end, at the beginning of 20th century, it seems it was decreased. But the spreading of these rabies conducted by foxes started coming from east in Poland in 1939. And at the average of 20-40 kilometers per year, going towards the west, arrived in France in the 1982. We have to remember that this campaign has been funded by European Union, so this is important, and all the visibility rules were respected during the campaign. It's important to remember that this is a long-term strategy. It's not easy to finalize, and of course it needs a cross-border cooperation, because you know the animals, they are not counting the borders, so they are moving. So it is important, a strategy in all the areas that are connected. This is very important. Some other issue that I think is good to mention, that is important, that this rabies is a viral disease. that can be transmitted by animals through the saliva, and it could be fatal both for humans and also for animals. So it's very important to continue this fighting against this dissemination of rabies in the countries, in the Balkan areas.
Yeah, thank you. And also just to mention that within our project, we have to implement at least, if there is a possibility, I think 2 or 3 vaccination campaign. Up to three. We of course once again suggested to the ministry that we are ready because we have the full experience. And we are now, how can I say, we witnesses what is needed to be done and how to organize it. So we suggest to the ministry, it is up to the ministry to decide. So we will see. Anyhow, let's say for the spring campaign, I think it's now too late. But we propose them, if they want to implement the autumn campaign, it's better to start now, to prepare everything so that we are ready and not to get in any problems, because weather for the autumn campaign is the main problem.
Yes, the recommendation is to repeat at least for 2 years the vaccination campaign. The recommended period is the spring or autumn, avoiding summer where it's too hot, or fully winter when it's too cold. So this is something. And another issue that I would like just to inform you, because I was not aware about this, is that each fox cover his own territory that can be a range between 40 and 400 hectares. Each fox has his own territory, so he's covering this territory. They are eating birds, animal, earthworms, fruits. And so this is very important for the campaign to conduct the vaccination in spring and autumn, when they are very active.
Yeah. So I hope that we explained you a little bit something regarding this vaccination campaign. What was also something totally new for both of us. Maybe a little bit Valter was, you know, a little bit informed better than me. But for me as a lawyer, this was totally strange sector and issue. So if you have any questions or whatever, please be free, you know, to ask. We will be glad to answer to any of that.
Uros, I have a question.
Hi, Leonard. Hi.
Hi, how are you doing? It was, first of all, thank you. It was very interesting to listen. I didn't know that much detail about vaccination either. As a project manager, as a project director, as a team leader, when you are implementing such projects that are different than what you have been educated, let's say, or what you have experienced, because as project managers, we really go to multiple different sectors, maybe different types of projects. How do you manage it? How do you deal with it? How do you learn and then manage the experts who have already done it? It's a challenge, I am sure, you know. It's
honestly the main challenge for me at that time was the preparation of the tender documentation. Honestly, you know, because I didn't know nothing about what Valter said, this cold chain, you know, and that you need to have it due to the whole trip from the Czech Republic here to Serbia, then the testing. That was the first obstacle and the first, let's say, the challenge for me. But I must say that we were very, very lucky that we had the great lady, Katarina Tosic, that she was dealing with this issue. She is by vocation veterinary doctor, and she already had a chance to implement and to monitor several of the vaccination campaign, not just here in Serbia, but also in Bosnia. But in that time, on the beginning of the preparation of the documentation and everything, she was not available. And that for me was, you know, totally one big challenge. But we managed it, also with the help of the veterinary directorate, because we had a really good two colleagues from the veterinary department and the directorate. So, and they, as you said, you know, I'm coming from totally different education ground, you know, totally vaccination of the foxes. For me, it was like, you will chase the fox and you will vaccinate it. I don't understand, you know. No, oral vaccination, you know. So it was totally strange for me. But honestly, when she came on board, and when we engaged her, and I went with her on 3 field visits to monitor everything, it was something that, you know, I understand it better. I understand the reason and what is the purpose of all of that. Till that point of time, I didn't understand nothing regarding that.
So I would like to answer to Levin that, so in the case you need to manage something that is out of your skills and knowledge, try to find a very good expert. This is what we had, and I met Katarina. She's a great expert. So the recommendation: you don't have time to learn everything about it, so find a good expert.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Some other questions? If no, I hope that Valter and I explained to you a little bit, and that the topic was interesting to you. So we are waiting to see if we will implement next autumn campaign. And of course, if that will be the case, I think that we are fully ready, experienced, and Valter said we have in our pocket one of the greatest experts that is dealing with this issue. So thank you all.
Thank you very much for your time. Have a great weekend. Enjoy.
See you.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you. Thank you. Bye-bye.